Let's get it started. Check, bitches. What's going on? He's Nelson.
And that's Neil.
Nobody's Podcast, episode 5.
But number 1 in your hearts.
Well, number 1 in our minds, anyways. The number 1 live requested podcast in Hannon.
Nobody knows where that is, and we're not telling you.
Yeah, because you don't give a fuck anyways. And what can I say? We're here in the podcast studios, and let's get it rocking this week. How was everybody? I missed you guys. Okay, Nelson, throw it out there. Let's
all right, we're getting
throw the shit up.
We're going to start right with the father crazy war stories. So if you're a first generation immigrant, I guess you probably have a father who was in some sort of war, and
not in Canada, but
not in Canada. No.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, for years my dad used to tell me war stories. There's actually a picture of him holding a bazooka, and I used to be like, holy shit, my dad has a bazooka, right?
Are you sure he wasn't just in Vegas and paid?
No, he was in some freaking field somewhere holding this goddamn bazooka.
Okay.
He used to be like a sniper in the war. And I always used to wonder, what freaking war is this guy, was he in? Because it was Portuguese war, right?
Well, that's what I thought when you brought it up.
Yeah, so I'm like, what goddamn war was this man a part of? Like, what war did Portugal go into? So I finally looked it up. And there was a war from like 1963 to like 1971 or something like that. I've got my dates mixed up, but it was like a 13-year war.
Okay.
So it was Portugal versus Congo. So
Portugal and Congo.
Yeah, so Angola, which was in Africa, was a Portuguese colony.
Right.
And I guess there was some Congo... Congolese rebels attacking the Portuguese in Angola. So the president at the time of Portugal said, fuck this. Those are our people. We're going to war with you guys. So that's the war my dad was in. So he's got some crazy stories. The other night it was just me and my brothers hanging out in the basement, and he was just, for whatever reason, started to talk about it. And he's got one story where he was so tired because he was walking for like 16 kilometers with all this gear on his back, right? He was so tired that he was telling the guy he was walking with that he was hoping to get attacked because it would be an excuse for him to jump to the ground and lay down.
They just keep you going, right?
It was just an excuse for him to take a rest.
Holy crap.
So he was like begging to get attacked by the enemy, and the guy was like, "You're fucking crazy, man. That's so stupid. Like, what the hell?
What a stupid reason."
And then at the end of this walk, he was so tired that I guess they found like a river and they started drinking from it.
So they got malaria?
No, I guess they had some pills that they would throw into their glass before drinking. Mm-hmm. And at the end of them drinking, they saw the group of women walking down the river who had just finished bathing in the river. Upstream. So here he is drinking this water that these women had just finished washing.
Yeah, that gives a new meaning to the phrase, I drink her bathwater.
Yeah, right? And there's another time where he was thirsty and a woman gave him like a glass, like a mug with water in it. He said that the mug was so dirty that the water was just black. He couldn't see anything, so he threw these pills in it to like protect against infection. And he just closed his eyes to drink it because he couldn't even like look at it. And I mean, I'm laughing only because my dad is telling me these stories and he's laughing, right?
Oh, no kidding.
So it's like, holy shit, man. And so it makes sense of why he's freaking crazy. I remember nights of like waking him up because he had to pick up my mom.
Right.
Even like night shift. And I used to like, he was such a deep sleeper that he would never wake up. So I had to like knock on the door of his bedroom so loud, and he used to like think that he was getting attacked, like he was being bombed from the sounds of the knock.
What do they call that? Like post syndrome,
post-war trauma, probably. And so he used to get up yelling like, "Ah!" and like tumbling out of the bath, or like out of the bed. I was like, "What the hell, man?"
Oh man, it's so mean just to laugh at that.
I know, but he's a tough guy.
What a trooper. That's insane. And you know what? You can look up to your dad for that. You can actually say, look, I served in the army, you fucks.
Yeah, right? I'm here because my dad is
you walked to school down the street and you got it so bad. Get the fuck out of here.
Both ways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right? It's just, yeah. props to parents.
Yeah, one night I remember one night I was in the basement and my dad just started stomping on the ground and he's yelling. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I run up the stairs and he's like holding up to his throat and he's yelling like he couldn't breathe. I thought that was...
Was he choking?
He was, but he was like, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden he could breathe again. But I was like, Dad, what the hell's going on? And he wasn't answering me. He was just like reaching for his throat and he's like just screaming. First, when I was in the basement, I thought that like, there was a burglar in my house and my dad was like fighting him. Because it was all years like, oh, and then bam, 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 bam. So I'm like, what the hell? I run up the stairs. This is my dad freaking out.
Holy. Yeah, you gotta have the instincts to make a maneuver, you know? Right? Not everybody. You know, but it's crazy how people freeze up in a time like that.
Yeah.
Right? Or they're so paralyzed with fear they don't even like move. They don't even act on it. All right. If you didn't end up upstairs, maybe just running gave your dad the push he needed.
I guess. My dad's got another story where he's they're all like protecting like where they're hanging out for the night or whatever. And like I was like a squirrel or hamster or some shit running. It was like just an animal. The guy starts freaking shooting at it because he hears movement. And everybody in the crew like all dove for each of their machine guns that they had.
Right.
And they all ended up like even in the dark ended up reaching for their own. So he's like, I can't believe that, you know, there was like 6 of us and everybody like had their machine guns laying down all together, but we all ended up like grabbing our own at the same time to fight this like fucking animal. I thought it was a person.
Which was a squirrel.
Yeah, a squirrel or some shit.
It was a Congolese squirrel.
They even have squirrels in Africa.
Things. Well, they got tons of shit we don't have. I would never trade them squirrel. You know, you want to trade squirrels for like you know, these exotic snakes.
Oh shit, man.
But it just goes to show you, like, some armies, some countries don't have their shit together.
Yeah.
Right? When it comes to assembling people, and sometimes, you know, and it's like even in a workplace or a team, or sometimes they just need bodies. So they do this basic training, like, and as basic as the word. And these, you know, how could they ever prepare you to go in, you know, any kind of terrain or jungle or whatever it is you're fighting, sand or the deserts? Yeah, sure, that's a natural reaction. Like, what would you do? Right? There's plenty of guys that say, you know, I'm tough as fuck, and I'll shoot any guy, I'll knock any guy out, and you put him in that field. Like,
I would be one of two things. I would either be
I'd machine gun a squirrel too.
Fucking right. I would fucking, if I heard any sound, I'd be fucking letting that thing rip. I would either be one of two things. I would either be so fucking scared that I would be like,
sure,
like deathly afraid of moving. Mm-hmm. Or I would be the complete opposite and be a psycho, that I would just fucking run like a madman through everything, just like
run and shoot,
run and front, just shooting at everything.
Yeah.
But the stupidity of that, I'd probably be dead. Like fucking good old Platoon. Have you seen that?
I was just gonna say, like, and we were talking about action movies the last time. And we should really throw in Platoon.
That's an amazing movie.
Before we do Platoon. And we'll get to it for sure. I mean, Charlie Sheen is the star of Platoon. Yeah. His dad, Martin Sheen, starred in Apocalypse Now.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen.
I don't know if you remember that. Which basically, it's a story that really mirrors, like the making of Platoon kind of mirrors, you know, what Charlie went through in that movie. And then, you know, his father did something, you know, years back. It was shot in the Philippines, and he was he was a kid himself, and rumor has it he was drugged up to do those scenes, because he's
Charlie Sheen was, or
Martin, his dad, his dad, and they really drugged him, and he was a young man when he did it too, to really get into these roles. And
I heard the director making that movie went through a ton of shit. Like, they were so far over budget, and like fucking people, like crew members died and shit making that movie. Like,
well, it's the Philippines. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
You're Filipinos, you're allowed to say that.
Yeah, like you saw guys get shot in those movies and died. They wasn't acting.
Oh shit!
Those extras got killed.
Is that where Platoon was made in the Philippines too?
That's a good question. I'm not too sure. I from what I understand, Apocalypse Now was filmed in the Philippines. Okay. So, funny story about that. I was with my cousins reminiscing about high school. projects and classes the other day, and we were talking about old English classes and independent study units.
Okay.
And we had to choose, a novel of our own, and then report it back.
Right.
Visual presentation of the class, verbal presentation. And a buddy of mine chose, I believe the Apocalypse Now is based on the book Heart of Darkness.
Okay.
So he grabbed that book knowing that there was a movie for it.
Nice.
Well, tip to you fucking study, you kids in school. If there's a movie to it, make sure that the movie parallels the book, okay? Because I got to tell you, my buddy...
It's not even close.
He did his project and did the verbal. Did not read the book, watch the movie.
Obviously.
Starts rhyming off everything that happens in the movie.
Yeah.
Deep in the jungles and this and that. Like, I guess it was the Vietnam War and this American infantryman, new guy and his experiences and the crazy whacked out shit he saw. And I swear to you, midway through the presentation, my teacher goes, "You didn't read the book, did you? This book was about the British Navy in the 1500s." And it was like... He got burnt so bad. And when your buddies are sitting there laughing at you, it doesn't make you feel any better.
That's fucking awesome.
So make sure, if you're going to do an ISU project, make sure the movie that you fucking watch is the same as the book you're reporting, okay?
You know what? I had a fucking OAC back in the day when they forced everybody to do that if you wanted to go to university.
The extra year.
Yeah.
For those of you guys don't remember or don't know, it's the 5th year of high school that prepared you for
so only a few of us got screwed over with that fucking year, but I did OAC English, and one of the projects was to pick an author or something and write like some big fucking 30-page essay on this whatever book you were reading, right?
Right.
So but it was supposed to be author based, right?
Okay.
So basically what I did was I took Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
But he only did short stories, right? So I had to kind of think of like a theme of like a message that was related between all of his stories, type of thing, right? And he's really a dark guy or whatever, right? So I just stole some fucking theory from the back of some book that they were talking about, and I like word for word used that theory, right? And I was taking words from right, like verbatim from the book, right? And she's like, you didn't come up with this thesis on your own. You just used this because I've heard this theory before, right? It's not original. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So I argued with her, saying that no, this is an original thought. I made this shit up. None of this is plagiarized. Blah 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 blah. And she's like, no, you have to rewrite it. I won't accept this as an assignment, right? So I said, okay. So you know what I did? I never showed up to class again. And the best part is, because I didn't even need that course anymore by the time I figured it out. The best part is that I still got the credit. I missed 2 major assignments, including that one.
How did you get the credit?
In the final exam. Because my grade was so good going into that assignment that even getting 0 on the last 2 assignments and failing the final, technically, because I didn't write it, I still managed to get like a 65 or some shit.
No kidding.
I was like, it was the lowest grade I ever got, but it was the happiest I ever was with a grade.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, fuck you, teacher.
Input. Yeah, no kidding.
I didn't even finish your course, and I freaking got the
credit. So you
credit.
didn't even write the final exam?
I didn't write the final, and it was 2 big assignments. That one was one big one, and there was another big one. And I never handed anything in for it.
You didn't even make it.
And the best part is I heard that a couple of students were like, saying that the teacher was asking about me and where I've been and stuff, because all of a sudden I stopped showing up, right? There's like 2 weeks left this semester. And I said, fuck this.
Like, she devastated your high school career.
I was like, that's original.
Yeah, I did something like that in OAC as well. And this is a funny story. A good buddy of mine will remember this. And we read Othello. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And, the theme of it, like the jealousy and so on. And I'm like trying to think, man, where can I get a real live day example of this? And I shit you not, this was around the time that the O.J. Simpson shit was happening.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, this is perfect. It couldn't be better. It was like served on a platter. So
nice.
I think that O.J. Simpson parallels Othello bullshit that I pulled out of the air. Like, how do you do that?
Did Othello have a white Bronco?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. He had a white horse. Who knows?
Yeah. With freaking driving down the highway in the slowest fucking car chase I've ever seen in my life.
Well, the theme, like...
Why didn't they just speed up, those cops?
You know what? Who knows? I think they enjoyed the airtime.
Oh my god!
But the major reoccurring theme in Othello is the sexual jealousy, right?
Okay.
So and why did OJ kill his wife and her new boyfriend, right? Because they were having an affair, or actually, I don't even think they were together. But,
man.
And it was so easy to parallel that. So I'll never, to this day, I won't forget. I can't forget that. I put 2 and 2 together. I thought it was pretty clever.
That's hilarious. Did you get good marks for that, or
I have no idea now? But I remember I passed the class. I got into university. That's all. You know what? It's just you do what you got to do, and in those times to get it done, right? And I can't tell you. And procrastinating, like doing studying for exams and writing papers the night before. That was me. And even before all that even happened, I just said to myself, like, I don't really want to be that person. I'll work on it, bits and bits each day, but that never happened. So, and then you got to like, where you feel like you have to have that pressure to get it. You do your best work under pressure.
I was a freaking keener in high school, and then I didn't even end up going to university. So I'm looking back at it, and I'm like, what the fuck did I do all that work for? That work is for, like, if you want to get good grades to go into university, right? Which I should have. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But looking back on it, it's like I did all the legwork beforehand.
Oh, for sure.
They didn't even use it. All my friends were like fucking around and having fun with high school, and I'm working like an idiot.
Yeah, but you can't knock that.
I know.
The work ethic is there, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's hard to say now, right? Because if you didn't do it that, I'm just gonna move. If you didn't do it that way, then I can just see that flying over. So, if you didn't do it that way, it's hard to say that. You'd be the same person today if you fucked around. Because what are your buddies doing now that they fucked around? Have they made it, or do they have?
No. Well, most of them have construction jobs. The ones I still hang out with.
You know what? It seems like guys like that, their path is set already.
Yeah,
for them. And it's
for sure.
By and large, like a really,
for sure,
if not a cultural, but also a family or a combination of.
And you know what? Those jobs pay well, man. I'd rather sometimes be fucking sitting on a heavy piece of equipment or building something rather than sitting in a cubicle fucking office assembly work, doing the same shit over and over again. Right. So good for them.
But it's amazing how you come into your own doing the things that by and large, hopefully that you like.
Yeah.
Right, because if you can't even stand it, you're not even going to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But and it's easy to, I think, to even say that. I wonder if I hear more often than from office guys that are like, sometimes I wish I could work with my hands.
Yeah.
But do you ever hear a guy that works with his hands say, "Fuck, I wish I could put on the shirt and tie and work in the office"?
Yeah, sometimes
I'm not around them that much, so
My family all comes from construction and stuff, but they all say like they wish they had office jobs. But my one brother's like, "Fuck, I don't want it." Or sorry, only one of them says, "I wish I had an office job."
Okay.
But I say, "Fuck, you're making more money than I am. What the hell do you want an office job for? Sitting on your ass doing nothing. I'd rather be out there exercising at least." Mm-hmm. The weather here is bullshit. It's too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter.
Right.
So that would be tough to deal with. But if it was like 20 degrees all year round, fuck, I'd be outside in a heartbeat.
Yeah, the perfect weather's got to be more like a fall weather, or spring kind of deal.
Exactly.
Right? Like I'm happy if it's just bright out. It doesn't have to be hot.
Yeah.
I come to realize that this past year, and actually now it's getting quite cold for November.
Yeah.
I know most folks think that, they think of Canada and it's snowing already. Go fuck yourselves. Why don't you read a book or log on the internet and Google something.
We're building our fucking igloos right now.
There's I was totally blown away. A friend of mine was talking about how far north the state of California goes and how far south the province of Ontario goes.
Right.
And I believe even the most northern part of California is as parallel to Windsor, Ontario.
Okay.
Like, that's fucking insane.
That's crazy.
Because you think, it was basically diagonal from here and what?
Yeah.
Who knows how many thousands of kilometers. on a map, things are just like, you just get unless you've been there or know anything about it.
I know, you think because like the border ends there that's where the temperature changes.
Right, it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like,
oh, that part's lower, but it's
wherever the lines are drawn on the map.
Colder.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you got places like fucking Minnesota that are higher, again, more north than we are, and I'm like, no one says to people in Seattle or Washington and Montana and Minnesota, and like, what the fuck, is it igloo there too?
The best is when you're like in fucking Ontario and you're meeting somebody and they're like, oh, I know somebody from Vancouver. Do you know them? There's fucking only millions and millions of people separating us, but yeah, I know. I know them.
When people do move, they tend to find others who have moved out there as well.
Yeah.
Right? But I guess, because that's just... You throw it out there, so...
But I don't know every fucking Canadian that exists.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, so there's a lot of us, and it does get warm here, too.
Yeah.
And read a fucking book, or... You know what I should say? Google it.
Yeah, we have Google in Canada, too. Yeah. Only ours is .ca instead of .com.
Yeah.
Fuck, you ever notice that? I always get redirected.
Big difference. Yeah.
Sometimes I want to use .com, damn it. I can redirect you to .ca.
Well, let's talk about that. What are the American versions of websites that are superior? Well, I'll start with the one. It's probably be all and end all right here, Netflix.
Oh, yeah, it's better in the States, eh?
There's probably like 10,000 titles, and
what's
here
up with that?
there's like
FCC or whatever
titles.
is fucking with us?
I have no clue, but I do manage to get... I don't know if this can get me in trouble. I can get the... I've seen it.
I've
seen the American Netflix.
It's possible.
And compared... it's funny enough, like, they have Dexter in Canada. They don't have Dexter in the U.S. Netflix.
Oh, really?
But they have Sons of Anarchy on the American Netflix.
But not on the Canadian, right?
Not on the Canadian,
It's so weird. Like, fuck, network's a network, is it not?
I think so, but hey, I don't know. We're not the decision makers.
It's like when you go on YouTube and you're searching for something and fucking it says this is not available to you. Like SNL, if you're trying to see an SNL clip, you won't, because it'll say that that material's not open to you.
Yeah, that's annoying stuff too, right? When you go on...
Give me a break. What are we in? Fucking... communist country all of a sudden? You can't get access to fucking television programming?
Well, when you go to different websites, like I'll look up ESPN for sports, and I want to watch their videos, and like their highlights are like not available in your region.
It's so stupid.
I'm like, are you retarded? We're almost as low as California.
We're technically in fucking America right now.
Yeah, so
that's funny.
And what else? What other versions of...
Well, there's like Hulu. Well, Hulu doesn't.
See, I would like to get
Canada.
Hulu. Yeah.
See, I heard.
Okay.
I get to not getting in trouble that you can change your IP address to US IP.
Yeah, this is basically how you do these things. Right?
Yeah, so a couple of websites where you can buy like a US IP, I guess, and then it thinks you're in the States, right?
Yeah.
So there's ways around it. Good old internet.
But what about eBay? I'm not an eBay. I'm not an online shopper. It's eBay.com. Or even Amazon.
I was just going to say Amazon. Even if you wanted to be a reseller on Amazon or sell stuff, there's different products that you can sell in Canada. Well, there's a limited amount of products that you can sell in Canada as opposed to the States. So if you have a U.S. Amazon account, you could sell like clothing and shit. But if you're in Canada, that's not even a category for you.
Which sucks because sometimes it redirects, I guess. So
yeah, so I wonder, like, if I were to sell like a piece of electronic on Amazon.ca, and somebody in the States is searching for it, are they going to see my listing, or am I only selling to Canadian people?
Well, I guess that's a good question. But honestly, do you really care if the owner is from St. Louis, Missouri, or fucking?
I don't care as long as I get the shit shipped to me. But if I'm selling, I want it to be open to the world, right?
Right.
So I wonder about that. That'll be something I'll find out soon enough.
Do you have PayPal, and do you feel that's safe? And how does that work?
Yeah, PayPal's safe.
And
PayPal's massive.
What about those digital tokens now? It's a new currency or something. What have you heard about that?
I don't have any experience with that.
Okay.
But the PayPal's funny because I was doing a website for somebody, and as soon as they asked him for his date of birth, he started getting all nervous and shit. He's like, as soon as they have your date of birth, that's when it's all over. They can like tap into everything. I'm thinking, what are you fucking talking about?
Who said that?
One of my a client
This
that
client
I
of yours?
can't name.
Or was you like a 13-year-old ordering a porno?
No, he was old enough to be smarter than that. But like, what do you mean? I can imagine if you started freaking out at the social insurance number,
Right.
but.
Birthday.
Date of birth? You know how many people share the same date of birth?
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, there's no way a date of birth
unless
means
you're
anything.
February 29th of a leap year, like
Then you're 4 years old right now.
yeah, like maybe you could get narrowed down, but you still
Like, nobody can fucking do anything with a date of birth. There was like somebody, I forget who, they were like, oh, I have your license plate. I'm like, yes, you and everybody else can walk up to my car when it's parked and fucking take it down. What are you going to do with my plate? Can't do anything. This guy was trying to scare me into thinking that I was going to, he was going to have my fucking...
Well, the key is being quick on your feet.
Everything about me.
And knowing the info they're giving you is bullshit.
Well,
right?
like, a license plate?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
What are you gonna do?
Unless I crashed up your car and drove off, a license plate doesn't mean anything. If my car is parked somewhere and you happen to walk up to it and write my plate down, you have my plate just like anybody else can.
Yeah, this is true.
Oh man, that was a good one.
No doubt.
I have your license plate.
That's funny. Yeah, you gotta catch someone's bullshit when you try to serve it to you.
I love fucking shoving bullshit back in people's faces. Fucking idiot.
Well, you gotta get in those situations too. So what the fuck?
Yeah, which I don't make a habit of getting into.
Oh, you
But
just
those
seem
are
to
the
get
ones.
into them.
Those are the ones that you remember in your mind, like you never forget. Eh? Like, do you ever? It's like I heard Joe Rogan say this the other day. I was listening to like a fucking 3-year-old podcast,
Yeah.
and I heard him say it, and I'm like, oh man, that's what I do. Do you ever like replay conversations in your head that piss you off, and then you keep replaying like different versions of it, and how you wish you could go back in time and have that conversation again, like George Costanza with the freaking.
Why does it shrink?
Oh, what was it?
Oh no, Jerk Store.
Jerk store, that's it. He turns the car around and rushes by. Like that kind of shit. Oh man, I was dying when Joe Rogan said that. I'm like, shit, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I think we all have those, right? I think the unpleasant conversations that are the ones that are emblazoned in your mind, right?
Yeah.
Because you can have
need therapy.
many happy ones if you... Yeah, no kidding. Right? They're unique for a reason.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's crazy. And another funny thing, actually, while thinking about, like, memories...
Yeah.
You ever look at pictures of a time and you're like, holy shit, that's what I look like, or that's what that person looked like, or there's someone in the picture, people in pictures that you just haven't seen in a while. Because I was looking at some old wedding pictures today, and isn't it crazy how your memories become memories of the picture?
Oh yeah.
Right? Like,
see, that's why I don't take a lot of pictures because of that. I want to like be in that moment and experience the way it is instead of like through like a camera lens or something.
Right.
Because you don't get the big picture. Like you don't get the same experience.
No, for sure.
But you're talking about pictures like your own wedding pictures?
No.
Other
A buddy's
weddings that,
wedding picture.
okay.
Yeah, like, and it just popped up. And
Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan, stand-up comedian, great comedian, has a funny joke about, ever since the invention of the digital camera, it's like we don't print photos anymore. It's just they're loaded on your computer. Yeah. So you don't throw out computers because they have pictures from. So it's like, oh, that's the computer with the summer pics of, 03, and then that one's like.
But then when the computer crashes, they're done.
Yeah, exactly.
How many times I've heard,
you still like, I can salvage it or this.
Yeah, you got to pay somebody $1,000 to recover your freaking hard drive.
Well, that's it, right? But because it's always, you don't want to print all the pictures that you've been taking. And when you have digital, you snap away, right? Like, you don't give a shit.
That's true.
You even keep the pictures with your eyes closed, or just like those
my parents
unflattering ones.
My parents have photo albums, fucking stacks on. I'm thinking, this is just taking up space. Like, when was the last time I even looked at that picture, other than looking at my dad holding a bazooka? Like, I haven't looked at a photo album.
We wouldn't have had this podcast.
We wouldn't have had this moment now, 30 years later.
Yeah, you gotta, if not all of it, you gotta take pictures or print out some of them.
It's the inconvenience of storing it everywhere.
Oh, yeah. But things change, right? When you go from Polaroid,
black and white to color,
film, black and white to color, and it's amazing. Sometimes I look at different eras, and I guess I'm terrible at gauging years.
Oh yeah,
but I'll look at something mid to early 2000s, and even when you watch movies on TV, you're like, oh shit, that was old. This is at 1996, and you're like, whoa, 07?
Yeah. Like when you watch the original Batman series movies, holy shit.
Yeah.
They're freaking bad.
And remember when those were like so badass hi-fi? And then now you're like, wow, that was so brutal.
But you know what that makes me think? Like, how freaking retarded was I watching that movie thinking it was the most amazing thing?
Oh, exactly.
Like, was I moving my eyes that messed up that I couldn't tell that I looked like shit?
Here's a funny one. Check out Terminator 2. The liquid Terminator.
Okay.
Right? Just look at the shit that he has. Like,
it's shit. It's
like when he gets shot with the shotgun through his shoulder or his chest.
Yeah.
And then you know how it liquefies, and then there's actually scenes. If you look at it, it looks like a foil friggin'.
Oh yeah.
Like something like
tinfoil,
you know, pinned up to his shirt, and he's walking with this fucking foil thing, and the way you see stuff now, like these advanced CGI movies. Yeah. Oh my god, they're just insane. Like, and I was watching checking out. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, I was on Bleacher Report sports website, and they did the evolution of the NBA basketball games.
Oh, really?
I'm like.
Fucking shorts, man?
Yeah, like the mid 70s all the way up until, today. Mm-hmm. If you've seen like the NBA Live for, I don't know, I guess it's like PS4 now or Xbox.
Yeah.
It looks like the real shit.
Yeah.
It looks like you're watching highlight films of
it's
the
intense.
players. But it's crazy from like the late 70s till the 90s. It was all that like pixelated shit, and I'm like, for 20 years you couldn't get your shit together.
That's crazy. Eh?
You know what? I don't even do that. I couldn't even do like the Atari stuff. So
the crazy thing about that, when I watch old NBA highlights, they all look like they were taller. To me,
yeah, they're leaner.
It's because they're skinnier and their shorts are shorter, right? Yeah, so like, fuck, those guys are all 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
Fucking funny.
It's like the illusion. Yeah, everyone was like palm trees out there. Yeah. It's funny. Or when I look back at old football, like the pads were much heavier, right? And it's like the clothing was looser. And the turf was like carpet. Now it looks like actual grass.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just amazing that in even just a short period of time, like so many inventions popped up and life changed so quickly.
It's so crazy, some of the stuff that you think, like, how did that not get invented or thought of
sooner?
Years ago.
Before,
right? Like, okay, for
this coming from guys that don't invent shit.
So. Yeah, right? I know. I'm like thinking of shit that was invented 10 years ago, and I think of it like it's fucking
and we don't
best idea ever.
Yeah, we don't even think of shit to invent.
You Google it, and there's like fucking 20 competitors already doing it.
But you're right. Like for thousands and thousands upon thousands of years.
Yeah. But
life was relatively the same.
Yeah.
Until you had, all of a sudden
Tesla came along.
Yeah, like, and just the slew of inventions that bang one after the next, right? And caused like different revolutions.
The one thing I know, I was listening to Fan 590 probably about a month ago now. They were talking about these inventions at NFL. Mm-hmm. Like people have presented to NFL and then they buy it, right?
Okay.
Or sports in general, actually. Like,
cool.
So
what were they?
The one was the NFL. What's it called now? I'm such a dumbass. Can't think of it.
HD camera.
No, the first down. Fuck.
Right. The markers. The line.
The line that shows you
first down
how far you got to go to get to first down, right?
Right.
And I didn't realize that CFL doesn't even have that fucking technology.
So I thought I had seen it before, but they don't use it.
That's an NFL thing that somebody invented and sold it to whatever sports network is hosting that.
Also, they copyrighted and then
they're basically playing a license to use it, right?
CFL use it.
So you have to be watching it on that network to see that.
To see it.
Because they own the rights to that. Just like the baseball with the strike zone.
Right.
That's like, a company that invents that shit and brings it.
I didn't realize that because you just think you watch and everybody has it. But
yeah, right? And then you realize, shit, that's something that this network paid for from another company that invented it.
Yeah.
Presented it to them and they like went for it, right?
Do you remember in hockey, I guess maybe mid to late 90s?
Yeah, the bullshit fucking...
the neon... The marker for the puck.
Floating puck?
Yeah.
That was Fox Sports, man.
Yeah.
Stupid
idiot. But what's wrong with that? And it's trying to argue with, and I'm not a major hockey fan,
but it looks
where I am walking in, I'm like, you're used to it forever, and I'm coming in and I'm trying to learn the sport, and that might be a good visual aid for me.
Yeah,
so do I have to just watch Fox Hockey?
It was ridiculous because, and they didn't even do it anymore, but it was ridiculous because when the puck was on somebody's stick, it was blue. Okay. And it would fucking hover around the blue like a fucking floating saucer or something.
Okay, but when it was free...
And then when it would shoot, if somebody passed it or shot it, when it hit a certain speed, it would go into red.
What's that?
So, you know what I mean?
Say that again?
So when somebody like shot it or passed it, if it hit a certain speed, it would go into red. Like it would turn from blue to red.
So
right?
it would heat up like temperatures.
Yeah, I guess it's just showing that it's fucking moving faster now. So it was ridiculous, and then it had like a stream behind it. Mm-hmm. So when somebody took a net, you would see the puck with this fucking stream like it was a rocket flying through the air at the goalkeeper, right? It was retarded watching that, man. How can you not follow a black puck on white ice?
It's so small. You know what?
Come on, man. You know the camera's following it.
Incorporate one in the golf. How about that one?
Yeah, there you go. Put a fucking flashing light following the golf ball. That makes more sense to me, but it's still retarded. It makes the sport look cartoonish, man. Fuck, I'm not even a hockey fighter. I'm not even a hockey watcher, and it upset me.
That's where I have problems playing the current video games of today, right? Like I haven't touched a video game in years. Yeah, but I'll admit, even when I was like in my mid-20s, I would. You know, when I wasn't working, I was playing. I should have been looking for jobs or something.
Adults acting like kids.
Oh, I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm glued to this fucking Madden game. But that was it for me. Like, the further it got down Fantasyland, right, it was just like, nah, this is too fake now for me to enjoy. Like, so I still kind of like, they're getting closer and closer to being real. The whole point of going to movies, playing video games, going to like, you know, the stuff with the special effects is to still balance between the fantasy and then, you know, you in control of the whole thing.
It's like World of Warcraft players, man. The people like meet each other online and they get married from it and shit. Did you hear? There was one I heard that somebody was getting married on World of Warcraft and another crew of people fucking went and fucked it up. They started attacking and killing everybody in the wedding.
No kidding.
It's a very open source, right? So you can do like tons of shit. There's another video a friend of mine plays for me all the time. Oh, what the fuck does the guy call out? Anyways, it's like a crew of people, like 10 of them, and they're all planning.
They all play together.
They're all planning the attack.
Right.
So there's one guy standing in the middle of all these players, and they're all planning how they're gonna fucking run into this dungeon or whatever.
You talking about the YouTube video?
Yeah,
I've seen it.
And then you fucking yell,
Leroy Jenkins.
That's it, Leroy Jenkins. And so the guys are all talking, and the one guy is freaking like organizing it all, and they're all getting pumped up and shit. You can hear the nervousness in some of them and everything, right? Because they know they're gonna get their fucking shit kicked out of them. Right. And the one guy just yells out, Leroy Jenkins! He starts running in. And everyone's like, you fucking asshole! They all chase him in. And they get fucking killed.
Yeah, I heard they were playing up to like 4 hours up to that point.
Yeah, because it's a hard level to pass, right?
I don't know. I can make fun of them very easily, but I can't blame them because I'll tell you, I used to do that same shit.
Oh, it's so funny. And that guy got in like a television show, like hosting like video game shit from that.
He ended up getting... Oh,
yeah, he was like, he made all these appearances because of that shit. That video has so many views. But it's so funny that these guys are like planning this attack. And Leroy Jenkins just starts screaming.
Yeah, I think he was taking a piss, and then he came back and he just...
Is that what the story was?
Let's go, fuck these guys. Yeah. Like, you know, they were there waiting for him.
Oh, it's so funny, because the whole concept of how serious they're taking it, and it's a video game, and they're getting all pissed at him. And then he ends up getting a television show out of it. It's awesome. Speaking of adults freaking acting like kids, how about adult trick-or-treaters?
I was just going to say, tomorrow is Halloween.
Yes.
All Hallows Eve, which has a pretty morbid, fucked up history.
Isn't there like Day of the Dead tonight or tomorrow or some shit?
Yeah, Devil's Night as we know it locally too, where you just go and cause some shit. In the spirit of all this, actually, wife and I downloaded The Conjuring.
What's that?
We wanted to watch a scary movie.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not good at scary movies. I've never, because I grew up with some older cousins who were totally into the Mike Myers, Jason, Freddy Krueger, and I was like 2 to 3. Maybe
Yeah, so it scared the hell out of you, right?
Yeah, and they're braving it out, but meanwhile, here I'm shitting my pants. So I never got into them, but I wanted to watch what my cool cousins were into.
Yeah.
So I just totally skipped that whole... And there was like a whole time and genre where those movies were going bananas.
Oh, they were kings.
Right? Wasn't that nuts?
Did I ever tell you about my experience with Nightmare on Elm Street?
No.
I never told you this shit?
No.
Oh, this is good. So, fucking Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I think it is.
Okay.
There's a scene where the freaking guy is in like a rehab... It's not a rehab center, but it's some fucking sleep bullshit center. I don't know. Some clinic or something. Mm-hmm. And he's making out with the nurse. At least he is in his mind. And
I was going to say, the nurse making out with the patients.
Yeah, and it turns into like some fucking... I think it turns into Freddy or some shit. And his like tongue starts wrapping in the tongue with this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
It gets all fucked up. Anyways, I'm explaining it brutally.
I think I vaguely remember this, right?
But the scene that really screwed me up was there's a guy trying to sleep. It might even be the same fucking guy that the nurse like turned into an alien on. And there's a doll on the wall, and the doll turns into like a mini Freddy. Uh-huh. And the Freddy jumps off the wall, right? Lands and starts to get bigger. And then he fucking... This little mini doll Freddy bullshit. The guy's laying on his back in bed, so he cuts the guy's arms. I never told you this, eh?
No.
Okay, so he cuts his arms. And he pulls the guy's veins out of his arm.
Oh, I vaguely remember this.
And then Freddy turns into like some fucking giant above the building, and he's pulling the guy through his veins,
like
across the hallway. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Puppet Master, but through your fucking veins in your arms, right?
That's insane.
And he guides him to the edge of the building into like all of us like a fucking window, and he makes the signal of cutting like through the air, and the guy falls out the building. And dies, right?
Holy shit.
So
it's so outlandish, right? How can that be scary, actually?
For 3 fucking years, okay? Yeah. I would not sleep on my back because I was afraid that Freddy was going to come into my house and pull my veins out.
Don't worry, I was like that
for
too.
For 3 years, man. And then one night I said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to sleep on my fucking back and fuck Freddy. And I did. And I survived.
You protested Freddy.
Now I don't even sleep on my back. I don't even find it comfortable.
You still can't do it. So you're still scared shitless.
After all those years of fighting, I can't even sleep on my back.
You're terrified. You can't have a good night's sleep because that one scene.
Fuck you, Freddy.
Yeah, don't expose your kids to shit like that.
The funny thing is, I bet you if I watch that shit now,
you'd laugh your dick off.
I'd be like, this looks so fake and shit.
Well, that's what I was gonna... Because when we were picking a movie... My wife is like, okay, get Candyman, because they're pretty freaky, right?
Yeah.
So, and we watched the trailer for it because I couldn't find the movie. And, and at the end of it, I was still kind of spooked, right? But she said, oh, it was scarier back in the day. It wasn't me. I'm just
you're like 3 years old.
I'm a chicken shit. So
you were still freaking out?
Too. Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, if you watch...
It's about to sing you to sleep?
Yeah. I had to sleep with a little nightlight.
Nice.
But you watch, Mike Myers, Jason, all that shit now. Like, it was just like the old effects. Like, you just probably laugh at it and be like, what the... This is so cheap. Like, this is just not... how did this scare anybody before? And when you talk about a scene like that, it's so outlandish. Like, how would that even be funny?
Yeah, it's not even, like, realistic.
It's like we were so simple-minded back then.
And you wonder, right?
Now it takes so much fuckery to get you...
You wonder that. Like, were we all retarded or what? Like, I mean, how did we get fooled by that?
I don't know.
Shitty effects. Exactly. I guess our mind wasn't as creative either, maybe.
We'll do the 10th anniversary podcast and we'll be calling ourselves retards in 2013. Right? But this movie, The Conjuring, had a lot to do with exorcisms. And
oh, really? Okay.
So I think the scary movies tend to lean towards different situations.
Was it based on any of the exorcism? Like, was it?
It was a true story.
Okay.
It happened in the northeast coast of the United States. I'm thinking like Rhode Island, Connecticut kind of deal.
Yeah.
And it was a family that bought a house in an auction and didn't really inspect it a whole heck of a lot, but it had a history of...
So it's basically about the housing bubble in the States?
Yeah. So don't just buy any recovering property. Get your history report and do an inspection. Do more than an internet inspection. Yeah, because it ended up being haunted and the family really was... devastated by the whole thing, and they brought in 2 paranormalists, like someone with, what do you call that, with that insight, the foresight, like a medium kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then her husband, he wasn't an ordained priest or anything, but he knew a lot about spirits and actually ended up performing an exorcism in it. But
in his own house?
No, in the house helping out this family.
Oh, okay.
So it's about them helping out the family, and pretty spooky. But I think I look past that now. But I think the more successful scary stories now are a little bit on the outlandish side, but they have to still be realistic.
Yeah,
like when Freddy Krueger pulling you by your scrotum.
I'll tell you, there's one thing though. That fucking Ring movie with that chick in that well, that fucked me up, man.
Yeah,
and I was like, I watched that like last week.
Right, looking for the videotapes and all that.
Oh shit, man!
It always takes you to some fucked up country property
ridiculous.
Covered in huge willow trees, and they got a river in the back, a pond.
The fucking horses and shit.
But
so what?
Yeah, okay. Sorry, adult costumes.
Yeah, okay. So let's say a fucking adult comes to your door.
It's a night
and trick or treats. Do you fucking give the candy or not?
An adult? I've never had that, actually. I've had older kids. It annoys me, actually, when teenagers, like older teenagers.
Like high school kids type of thing?
It's not so bad. Actually, it's funny. Some teenagers, some high school kids, they look like fucking kids. There's some, like, miniature ones out there.
I know. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, but I can't turn someone down for coming. An adult, though. I've never had an adult.
Well, when I was in grade 9, I went out without a costume like a dumbass.
Yeah, well, and I've done that, too.
And I went denied. And then, you know what? That was the last year I went out.
You did it, right.
No, actually, I went out again the year after that, but I actually dressed up because I did feel like an ass. Like,
sure,
here I am, lazy bastard.
Candy,
yeah, right? Felt like a freaking douche.
But you've had an adult come, not even with
No,
kids?
I was just I heard something. I heard a story, and the guy. This was on Bill Burr's podcast, actually.
Okay.
Somebody came up to their place last year, I think, and asked for candy. So he came with his kid. So he gave the candy to the kid, and then the adult, like the father of the kid, wanted candy himself. So Bill Burr ended up giving it up, but he was like pissed at himself that he gave this.
That he gave it to him.
Well, like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna call the guy out in front of his kid? But that's pretty funny, man.
Yeah, well, his revenge is putting him on his podcast and ripping him.
Yeah.
I guess
Exactly.
But yeah. Well, I was looking at costumes online, and like, you know what they market? They market like all the slutty
yeah.
costumes.
It's a woman's excuse to look like a slut.
It's hilarious.
It's awesome.
And I totally forgot about this whole thing, like from being in school and when I used to go out to the clubs and stuff and bars or whatever.
Yeah.
I forgot people dressed up even for that.
Yeah, it's a big thing. It's a big moneymaker for
some people. Just like
the clubs.
Halloween is more important than any
Christmas.
than the whole year.
If you celebrate Christmas,
sure. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, clubs sometimes will give out like $1,000 fucking prizes and shit for the best costume.
That much?
Yeah. Back in the day, maybe that's how I remembered it. It's probably 200. My memory's skewed, but no. I remember like top prize was like $1,000 at certain clubs. I haven't heard of that recently though, but back in the day they used to do that.
But aren't costumes so much better now? Like, it's just insane what you can get.
Yeah, the people that go to Comic-Con, it's fucking amazing. Like some of the shit that they wear. I almost want to go to Comic-Con just to
the way I see
party
costumes,
with these freaking nerd girls that are hot. You know,
and the
hot nerd girls are just
it's
like
amazing how that
She-Ra
used to be also like not the coolest thing to do. Like you're total Poindexter to go to them.
Yeah, I think you still are, but more, it's more people.
When they added that element of the what do they call it when they have the conferences where all your they'll invite your television, your TV show cast to come up, and then they'll do not a soundboard, but like an interview,
a panel.
Panel. That's it, right? Like you can watch them on YouTube. Like I was watching the Sons of Anarchy panel, and I'm like,
"Oh yeah,
call me a fucking nerd. I'd go to that." Yeah,
no shit, that's pretty awesome.
And Bryan Cranston, the lead guy from Breaking Bad, Walter White, showed up to Comic-Con with a mask of himself.
No way.
But it was a mask, clearly. So people were like, whoa, that guy's got a cool mask. And he walked around Comic-Con, and people were, maybe taking pictures of him and kind of bugging him. So who's the fucking nerd now, right? You go to that. That's pretty awesome. Cool.
No shit.
So he walked around, and then when they started the panel, I believe he came out of the crowd, went on stage, ripped the mask off, and it's his real face. I was like, holy shit!
So everybody didn't realize it was him, eh? That's freaking
yeah, it's the last person you think is going to do that, right?
That's brilliant.
Wear a mask of yourself, but it was pretty cool, because I saw a picture of him the other day with that mask in his hand.
Yeah.
But
we've made it big when we can wear masks out of ourselves and walk around.
Yeah, no kidding. What a brilliant fucking guy. Capitalized on the show, and now,
I'm still watching that freaking series. I just finished season 2.
Right on.
So
I think you're caught up to me now, and I will finish it, and then see when Bill Burr starts making his appearances. But
yeah, apparently it might be was season 3 or 4. I think.
I think so. Right on. We'll look forward to that. But yeah, adult costumes for chicks, it's an excuse.
It's just a horror fest. I mean,
to look
good for you. I love it. But.
What do you mean a costume day?
That's what I'm saying. I think we talked about this last week too. But why do you need a costume to fucking dress like a slut? Like,
I don't know.
I guess because that's the day society allows it.
That it's acceptable.
But it should be acceptable every day.
And anyone acting like a slut on that day is not a slut. So there you go.
Anybody acting like a slut is not a slut any day.
And what do guys do? Like, guys just...
guys have stupid costumes. Like firefighters and fucking police officers. It's so dumb.
When guys wear that kind of shit,
get the great costumes. Guys get shit.
There's the double standard. The funny part is, when the lady does it to be a slut, it's acceptable. When the guy does it, it's like, you're such a fucking loser.
A buddy of mine made a good point the other day. He goes, why aren't there more fucking crimes on that day? Like, you had a bunch of guys wearing a mask anyways. If you're going to walk into a bank and rob the place, no one's going to fucking question you walking into a bank with a mask any other day, right?
Right.
I mean, on that day they won't. Any other day, if some guy walks into a bank with a mask, the fucking chick behind the counter is hitting the alarm. But on Halloween, you walk into a bank with a mask, people are going to be like, but he takes all the guns, like, fucking give you all your money, you know what I mean? Convenience store or something. Now that I've said this, all these people are going to start fucking crime rates.
No, the consequences are still too much for someone to make that kind of move. Well, do you remember Halloween when they released the Thriller video?
Oh, fuck.
When Michael Jackson...
Fucking
when
shit
music
my
videos
watching that
were
video.
just... Right? When music videos had release days on TV.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You didn't necessarily have, like, all-day music videos. You had no fucking YouTube. You couldn't pull it up when you wanted. So when MJ said, be at your fucking TV at 7:45, and you're going to spend the next 45 minutes watching the release.
Crazy.
And he took music videos to just another level.
The full video of that is like 15 minutes long.
Sure. It's
crazy. I remember.
You think it was like a TV show.
I remember watching it for the first time. The full one was like a Michael Jackson spotlight on Much Music.
That's what I remember.
And I'm like, fuck, I didn't know this video was that long. The one that screwed me up the most with him is at the end when he fucking opens up his eyes or whatever, and the screen comes in, and he's got his green eyes or whatever, though.
It wasn't when he was inside the haunted house.
Shit out of
and
me.
They broke down the
that's pretty fucked up, too.
And the guy, who came from the floor? Was it him, or was... No, it was another zombie.
There's a jail, like a prison, that does, like, these big choreographed... Is it in the Philippines? Fucking everything's happening in the Philippines, man. Apparently the crime rate in that actual prison is low because they work
they have exercises to do, and
then they work together on the dancing, right?
Sure.
So they bond or whatever. Yeah, there's a ton of those fucking videos.
They do a lot. Yeah.
That's awesome. They do a Thriller, and it's amazing.
That's the first one I've seen out of that.
There's a couple they do, but Thriller's the best for sure.
The other thing I remember, or things that the rerunner play in Halloween, is Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I was not really into because
it's a training show.
Yeah, and it happened before our age. Really, it was like kind of like that goth rock. Very cool now, actually, that I think about it.
Yeah, I can't get into it because that guy looks scary as a woman, man.
Oh, yeah.
The main guy, I don't remember.
He's terrific in it. But
yeah, but I mean, even the...
But when you're young watching that stuff, you can't relate to it. You just think it's like costumes. And
I don't know. I was a little troubled by it myself.
Susan Sarandon's the lady.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, and I've
never watched the whole thing.
Of the he looks like he's a part of the band Kiss.
Oh yeah. Well, even the cover, like the DVD cover of that movie, it's just the red lips. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. The whole thing, for whatever reason, troubles me. I don't know why.
Okay,
I don't know what it is, but
let's do a little best worst here. What's the best costume you've ever seen while out, or even like just?
Fuck, I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was the guy that won that $1,000 back at Energy Kingdom. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
$1,000. Shit. It was some crazy like gargoyle freaking outfit, and he was like fully covered. He had like the mask, he had the freaking arm, everything. Like,
right.
He kept having to take it off because it was so hot.
Sure.
But it was massive. Like, I remember him walking around and just bumping into everybody because this thing was gigantic. I don't even know how he moved around.
Oh, God.
And he won. But I'm pretty sure it was like a gargoyle or some shit.
That's funny. I was going to say, to win on that night with the best costume, you got to sacrifice your night, the partying,
right?
The boozing. Like, you're there to win. That's it.
Yeah, so that
it's got to suck when you want to win and you don't, though. And you sacrifice your night for that.
That would be my my top one. There was a couple of lame ones in the group that I went out with last year.
So worst, yeah. What's that?
But I wouldn't say they were the worst. I don't.
You've gone out and people are still dressing now that you've gone out.
Yeah, like
where the fuck are you going?
Last year was we had like VIP at a bar.
Okay.
And I actually rented my costume. I was what the hell is it called? Those freaking the rich people from England. What are they called?
Aristocrats?
Aristocrat. I was an aristocrat for Halloween. It was awesome. I had the long socks and everything, the shoes, buckles, the whole wig.
Well, I was going to say, like,
hilarious.
Back in the day, especially, if you wanted an exceptional costume, you had to rent it.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Now I go online and I look and I'm like, holy shit, that's the stuff you would rent. Like, I saw a Chewbacca one.
Yeah, and you know what? It's the same price of renting them, basically.
Yeah, might as well keep it, I guess.
Yeah. The worst costume? Fuck, I don't know. I had one guy went as Hello Kitty. But all he had was like a cat mask and like the hello tag on his chest and like a tail. And the funny shit is he lost his tail like right at the beginning of the night. It fell out in the cab ride.
That's so funny.
So he just was this cat mask with fucking hello on it.
That's so funny.
I don't know if anybody got it once the tail was gone.
Right.
Another one went as a spelling bee. So just go dressed up in like a yellow and black fucking suit or some shit with like these
with glasses and a piece of paper. A
she just looked like a bee. So I don't know why. Because she had ABC on her top or something like that. That one was kind of funny. She made it herself too. I didn't have the heart to say it.
Yeah, you can't turn those.
It's kind of lame, but it's funny though. It's pretty clever.
It just depends what you're going for. There's shock value, there's slut value. There's like, I'm clever.
I don't know about shitty ones. How about you? You got a list?
No, actually, I don't. I'm not too many experience. Like I said, not too many experiences going to these parties.
Yeah,
I remember back in university though that the football players that I played with went as a group, and the guy who won was a white guy who went as Mr. T, and it was tremendous. It was funny. Awesome. He won like a VCR, and
nice.
I think it was a VCR. And he went up there, and then he was like shaking it like Mr. T.
Nice,
and the gold chains, awesome. And it's always funny when someone when a white guy does a black guy.
That's so funny.
But I saw a funny one on Bleacher Report, athletes and their costumes.
Yeah.
And Shaquille O'Neal has a funny video of him singing Beyonce.
Oh man.
Not trying to look like Beyonce, but as a lady.
Okay.
And it's hilarious. He's singing in his truck or something. And then there's one of Dwayne Wade. Trying to look like Justin Timberlake.
What?
Yeah, like they say it's racist enough to go from the white guy to the black guy.
What?
But the black guy to do the white guy is just weird. But he looked like Charlie Chaplin.
Speaking of the racists, have you seen... have you heard that, that song... Royals, We Were Royals by
Yes,
Lewd? People are saying that that's a racist song about towards hip hop culture.
Yeah, well, who gives a fuck?
Because that's
everyone's taking hits.
Well, that's the thing. Like, who fucking cares? Because she's talking about driving Cadillacs and fucking You know, everybody's got grills on their, singing about grills on their teeth and whatever else. It's like, who cares?
So they're scrutinizing someone from, you know, dissing
The
what has
culture.
basically become like the
norm.
the norm, the standard.
Yeah. That's, you know, who
Which
cares?
is played
You
out.
sing about fucking
Right.
banging chicks and wrecking hotel rooms and shit.
But that's all played out shit.
I know.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
there's the
of
creativity. And, you know, we touched on this last time too, right? It seems like musicians are working. I don't want to say working less, but like they're getting paid more for not having to put in as much time or as work as you know the greats, right?
Yeah.
And canceling their concerts.
Oh, good old Drake. Thanks for that, Drake.
Or Drizzy. Yeah,
Jesus.
that's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah. So Halloween tomorrow. Tonight's Devil's Night. So stay out of trouble.
You got to tell me if tomorrow if some adults show up and want candy. You got to tell me what you do if you give the candy or not.
In my old neighborhood, it was there's a lot of turnover from older folks to young families. So I was leaving basically at that point, and you buy like these loads of chocolates
for the kids, right?
You hardly give them out. No, there were hardly any people.
Oh,
right. And here in my neighborhoods, by and large, a newer neighborhood with a lot of kids. So people, they go bananas. Like, you can't buy no chocolate.
That's good, because in my neighborhood, nobody shows up anymore. I don't know if it's yours.
That's how you can tell what's in your neighborhood. Is old fucks or like families or what? Yeah, I'll let you know. But it's
the way I look at it is like, what are you going to do? Start a fight over candy at some guy at your
an
house?
adult comes?
Yeah, like I'd be like, whatever, dude. Go fucking get a life. Fucking... Okay, if you could say like, oh, the girl's young and she can't carry all the candy for herself, fine. That's a good story.
The only time the adult comes to the door is when the kid's so small they need help going up.
Usually they stand on the sidewalk and the kid goes up, right?
Yeah.
I always feel bad for fucking kids trick-or-treating, man.
You do? Why?
I don't know. All that work for fucking bunch of candy. Just go home and buy yourself a bunch of bags. Spend the $10 and buy yourself a bag of candy, man.
Yeah. And I remember... it would be a big thing to report how much you got the next day at school, and
or be the one that gives out the candy that the kids always throw out. The fucking rockets or whatever they are.
Oh, how about this? Best and worst you've ever heard for best chocolate or trick or treat?
I got one.
All right. When you heard a house would give out like the large chocolate bars, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Or once in a while you'd hear someone giving like $1 or a little bit of money. I'm like, holy,
that's the place to go.
And one time bringing in the treats the next day to school, one of my classmates brought in like a spinning top and something like so. It was a trick.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody gives treats,
right.
And then you hear about people giving apples, and putting needles in them.
Oh man, that's the worst. But that shit still happens, man. That still happens. Like, watch, fucking Friday morning we'll be hearing about crazy shit.
I hope not.
Fuck
you if you're gonna try it. Don't fucking think about it.
I hate those stories. They fucking make me sick.
Yeah, that's ridiculous shit. Get a life. Fuck you.
I remember trick-or-treating with my brothers.
Sorry. But it scares the shit out of people. Like, honestly, if that was the situation, you're terrified for your kid, go buy fucking chocolate. Because
that's the thing.
Like, don't even let the kid out now, and now you buy them.
If you hate kids, don't fucking trick-or-treat. Or don't give out candy.
Yeah, you had a shit childhood, and you know what? Don't put...
you, man.
Yeah, don't put it on these kids.
Remember those kids? I don't know if you had them in your neighborhood, but the kids that would ride around with the bikes with the fucking UNICEF boxes.
Yeah, they'd collect at the same time, right?
I was wondered if they were actually giving that money back to UNICEF, or if they were just banking it.
Who knows? Even if the kids weren't keeping the money, UNICEF wasn't. You hear about those places? They don't have to give all of it.
I know, it's like
and
the amount that of it goes.
The amount that they're are able to keep is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Right.
The other story, I'll never forget Halloween. My brother, some house was giving out fucking large bags of chips, like the full bag.
The big bags?
The big bags. Ooh. So this guy...
The guy work at Hostess?
Yeah, I don't know, but this other guy... So you get the big bag of chips, right? You go down a couple of houses. Mm-hmm. This one guy was looking into the bag and looking to see what you had, and he took from the bag.
What?
So I remember this jackass took my brother's freaking large chip bag and replaced it with a small one.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. I'll never forget that. I'm like, what?
How could he just take shit from you?
Yeah, he looked into the bag. He's like, cool. And he saw the big bag of chips. He took it and replaced it with a small bag of chips. How's that?
Yeah, when they're adults, you get nervous. Like, you can't do anything about it.
That's a douche right there.
I do remember going, and I was just happy. One time the lady said, yeah, just pick as much as you want. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right?
But you're still like, you're not that liberal. You're not going to grab the whole thing. Maybe you grab 2 instead of 1.
If you go at the end of the day, and there's still a bunch of candy left, oh yeah, they'll give you the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Or those houses that used to just leave the bucket outside.
People still do that, don't they?
Do they?
I think back in the day, I don't think you could do that now.
Yeah, you just freaking go to work on that thing.
You get that one teenager kid that has no fucking heart, and he steals from everybody. Did you ever go to apartment buildings?
No.
I heard the apartment building owners would go down to their main hallway and then give them out too.
Tim Hortons was always good for that. They'd give you freaking candy apples or donuts.
Candy apples, though? Do you like candy apples?
No, but
they'll ruin your teeth.
A lot of times. Sound like a grandpa. Yeah, but Tim Hortons was always good on Halloween. They'd give you like donuts or something.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so I used to go hit up the Tim Hortons all the time.
But candy now is so inexpensive and so much more variety.
But that's why I say, like, I feel bad. Like, all that work for fuck. I guess it's the whole experience of it, dressing up a costume.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. Like, you're just...
I don't know, I'm a miserable fucker.
You're swimming in chocolate.
I see the negative in everything. Poor kids don't know when life is going to hit them. They don't know what's coming.
That's hilarious. Yeah, but they still got to go, right? And I remember some of my classmates, they would go for blocks and blocks, and they would take garbage bags and pillowcases. I'm like, holy fuck. Like, my parents, they had a fucking time. It was like, half an hour, that's it. Get your ass home.
Oh, really? My parents didn't have the time.
And then when you could go to town then, right? You can go to all kinds of different neighborhoods.
Jump on your bike, fucking go for miles.
Yeah, just go all night, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then there's always the question of when does it start, when does it stop?
Well, that's the thing with the pillowcases. Like, fuck, I have so much more to fill still. I gotta hit up more houses. Or those little pumpkin baskets that just get filled up after 2 houses. You're like, shit, man.
You've been working at chips and it's over. I
gotta go back home to fucking empty this out. Go back out.
Yeah. Did you ever have the parents look over what you had and then throw out, the shitty stuff?
No, we would look through it all.
Yeah.
Just to make sure there weren't any knives or whatever else.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit. But, no, they never threw out anything.
Hardest...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you remember the hard caramels?
Oh, fuck. Or the toffees?
Yeah, and the ones with the Halloween wrap. The black, white, orange.
Yeah, and then there's the ones that weren't even wrapped. The freaking, like, rockets or whatever?
Yes, yeah.
But they're not even wrapped up. So
the little pills, right?
Yeah, they're like carrots or some shit. You're like, what the hell? I can't even eat this because it's not fucking wrapped.
Like, I don't think you would get that shit anymore.
Yeah, probably not.
Right? That had to be, like, the least expensive shit to make.
Yeah.
Like a big-time moneymaker. So there's some millionaire in the U.S. right now who made I got a caramel factory that one time a year everybody bought it.
That's like that company you're saying with the wrapper with all the like Pez dispenser looking freaking shows. They can only make money during Halloween because no one's buying that shit otherwise, man.
Exactly. Actually, we were out at the bulk barn the other day where we get baking and we'd get oatmeal there, morning oatmeal to start the day, and they have some vintage candies, right? Do you remember those, like the dipsticks?
Yeah.
And the different powders. You get 2 flavored powders.
Yeah.
Remember Big League chewing gum?
Yeah. Or Hubba Bubba.
Hubba Bubba, yep. Hubba Bubba tape. It came in that plastic puck, and then you get...
Yeah.
I remember these gums that were minty. They were called hot dogs, and they were like little Mike and Ike gums.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. What else do you remember?
Oh, fuck.
Vintage chocolate candies.
Well, for me, it was the Sour Keys.
Yes.
And what was the other one?
The sour gumballs, too.
Yeah.
Tearjerkers.
Tearjerkers? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Or it's just from fucking biting into them and breaking your jaw.
That, too.
Jawbreakers. Oh, what was the other thing?
Gobstoppers.
Yeah. Fruit roll-ups. Ever get into those? Yep. God, I had a dinner once at CN Tower, and fucking the salmon looked like a fruit roll-up. It's fucking disgusting. Worst meal I ever seen Tower.
Like lately?
Seen Tower.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like a couple years ago. It was me and girlfriend went for a 1 year anniversary or some shit.
Okay.
And I had her meal and my meal, and it was the worst food I've ever had in my life.
Couldn't touch it.
And one of the dishes was salmon, because it was like a fixed price menu.
Yeah.
So, you get your dessert, you get your salad or soup, and then your entree, and then your dessert, right? So she had the salmon, and it was the thinnest cut ever. It looked like a goddamn fruit roll-up. That's how. Like, what is this?
That's how they get you.
I could roll this up and fucking throw it in my mouth.
That's how they get you 25,000 feet in the air.
Oh my god! Yeah, because there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck. They probably don't even have a bathroom. You're gonna take that elevator.
Yeah. So hopefully, CN Tower changed their menu. If not, we're getting sued.
What do you think about the craze where you got places, coffee shops? I'm not going to name any names. The ones that do like the pumpkin spices.
Everybody does the pumpkin.
And now, I was going to say everybody's. You gotta up your game. You gotta keep in.
I was saying that the other day. I'm like, what the? Wait, everybody has the same supplier. Everybody buys the same pumpkin syrup from everywhere.
Well, the other shops, other competitors didn't exactly have it.
No, right? Then what happened?
I think last year maybe would have been the first.
So the
year.
one shop had like the freaking license to the pumpkin.
Well, I just think they were like had more flexibility on because
no matter where you go, the pumpkin spices are
everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if
even pumpkin spice products like in the store, you can get their different lattes or coffees or flavor, right? They put in anything, and now there's donuts, muffins, like yeah. But I can see people asking for that year round, actually, and I'm sure that people do. Right?
It's good. It's just sweet, like a son of a bitch. But half of that stuff is too sweet.
And then Christmas will bring out a whole, candy cane ones and this and that. So it's neat. It's good stuff, man. But when the other shops try to do it to keep up, it's not. It's not
as good.
No, it's not. Right. So that's what I think the difference is.
I was doing tracking my calories for a couple of weeks, just to see. Right? And every time I had a coffee from that place, my fucking calorie intake went higher than I was supposed to. And sugar intake too, and it's like, fuck. I'm even ordering the skinny version, and it's like, fucking...
It's not getting you anywhere.
The freaking computer starts to melt down because the calories are so high.
Oh, man.
It's funny shit, man.
Oh, man. But they're worth it, right? It's
for once in a while, for sure.
I wish I knew the science behind it, and I keep thinking one day I just want to work there to learn.
Well, I heard...
hear all the different types of menus, hear the orders.
I heard there's 80,000 fucking drink combinations.
But a good friend of mine works and manages one. Yeah. And I was talking to them and the staff, and they were saying, they're quite similar with, a little bit of twist here and there. So you get used to it eventually.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. You gotta love a good warm drink.
So I did something this week that I vowed never to do, and I think I think this makes me the weekly douche of the day. Okay, I'll take ownership of that. I bought a pair of Lululemon pants.
What's wrong with that? I got two.
Oh, no, you don't, dude.
Yeah, they're comfortable as fuck.
Shit. Aren't they though? They're fucking amazing. So I got into yoga.
Well, how does that make you a douchebag?
Well, okay, so...
Oh, you're the yoga now, too. Okay.
So a friend of mine, somebody I know, we got together for a weekend kind of retreat thing, analyze yourself, set goals type thing. Okay. It's pretty amazing, actually.
Cool.
So I bought yoga pants for that, because I knew we were going to be doing yoga.
Mm-hmm. So you went all out.
So I buy the pants.
Nicest clothes, no fucking idea what to do.
Right, exactly. I've done it once with Tony Horton yelling at me on the screen. That's about it. Okay. So I did. I go Friday to buy these pants, and they needed to be hemmed. So the retreat was Saturday, Sunday,
and you can leave them there.
And the pants were going to be ready till Monday. So here I am buying these fucking pants.
They were too long
for the weekend. And I didn't even get to use them. So I had to use regular gym pants, right?
Oh shit.
So anyways, I told him my buddy's I bought you. We used to call cotton pants jogging pants.
Yeah.
We used to call them cock pants because your shit's exposed.
The outline of your cock.
Yeah, shit's exposed, right? So I'm I took freaking cock pants to a whole new level this weekend by buying Lululemon, but they're fucking.
Why did you really avoid not wearing them?
It was because it's such a label that is so female driven, that brand, that to me it's if you're a male buying that brand, you're like fucking whatever.
You gotta open your horizons, buddy.
I guess because they're so goddamn comfortable,
if
right?
They fit you, right?
Yeah. Oh no, these are good. I got the Kung Fu version or whatever.
There you go, Mr. fucking Kung Fu now.
No, I can't wait to do yoga.
You and your pumpkin spice doing yoga.
So now I can't wait to do yoga in these freaking pants because they're so goddamn comfortable, man. So I'm at my girlfriend's friend's house the other day,
right.
Who loves Lululemon, right?
Sure.
And so I tell her, I go, hey, guess what? I bought Lululemon pants, right? And she says, I hope this doesn't offend anybody because it's not what it means to. I just thought it was funny. She goes, what are you, a fag? She's like, you're a fag now because you have Lululemon pants.
So she was more closed-minded on that than you were.
So I'm freaking laughing. And then later on in the night, she pulls out this hand cream. And she's like rubbing lotion on her hands, and she gives it to my girlfriend who rubs lotion on her hands, right? So my girlfriend gives it back, and she goes to me, and she goes, do you want some? You want to rub lotions on your hand now that you're a fag?
Oh, man. You know what? And that's...
so funny to me, because I love to laugh at myself, too. I like not taking myself seriously. But it's so funny, because I just tell people, I got Lululemon pants just to get a reaction from them, right?
Yeah,
goddamn comfortable.
You gotta do that.
And I got the mat now, and fuck, I'm like,
oh, you're full.
I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm gonna end up buying a jacket now or something. I'm gonna only buy Lululemon.
You can't stop there, but the shit will last forever, and it's super comfortable.
Yeah,
and
it's good.
I think the number one thing has got to be too. You laugh at people that wear cock pants and pajamas. You can wear those, and it ties into a nice sweater or a hoodie.
It does actually,
right? So
it does translate.
It's like buying a comfortable but you know what? In North America, the reason why we dress down so much is there's more onus on what's comfortable as opposed to. Kind of what's appropriate.
When I was in the Ukraine, freaking every woman
was dressed up, right?
Was dressed to the nines, high heels, and they walk all the time, and they're wearing fucking 4 or 5 inch heels.
Sure.
And they were all wearing pantyhose still.
Sure.
The nylons, right?
Because they have hairy fucking legs.
No, they didn't have hairy legs. They were smoke shows, but it's shit, man. They're still doing the old school thing. Right. Whereas here we're all wearing hoodies and cock pants.
Well, I guess this is one thing that any person from outside of North America can say. It's if we dress like slobs.
We've accepted that we're slobs.
Yeah, exactly. It's about comfort, right?
Yeah.
And the speed of everything we do. You just want to go to the market, get it, and go home. Get your shit and get out of it.
Fast paced.
So it's not even worth walking to a place, walking home from a place, dressing nicely.
Yeah.
And one thing that I see in a lot of old homes that I'll visit, I say to the people I'm with, you can tell the era and what's important to them by different things. The small bedrooms, the tiny closets.
Yeah.
Right? Walk-in closet, are you crazy?
I know.
Some of these, they're like linen closets.
It's true.
So, how many pairs of pants or clothes or maybe just 1 or 2 suits and that's it. And
that's
and here we are complaining oh shit, this room's too small, I don't have enough for storage. What do we have that
that's a classic example of people not looking in ahead, because fucking those houses back in the day, they didn't have closets. You had to buy the dresser.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. They didn't build storage into the house.
Which made the room even smaller by the time you put the dresser in the bed.
And then you can't put anything anywhere because it's all fucking dresser drawers and shit.
They didn't spend as much time, I guess, eating and snacking and not exercising. So
and buying clothes.
We're isn't it the movie WALL-E where everyone's in space, they're no longer on Earth, and they're floating on those tubes and they're just enormous?
Oh, I haven't seen that. WALL-E is
take a look at
WALL-E's the robot, isn't it?
Yeah, but the reason, he's cleaning up the Earth, and all the humans are on this ginormous spaceship, and they're all fat as fuck.
Oh,
yeah, they float on these. It looks like one of those floating tubes in the swimming
pool.
That's
awful, man.
Yeah, and the whole point is to just be as non-active as possible. Everything you do is, voice activated or by button.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's insane. So, okay, let's start to wrap this down. Let's throttle this down. But
right.
I found something funny online, and I want to get your comments on it.
Sure.
And it's in line with douchebag fashion.
Oh, nice.
So I give you the top 10. Okay,
all right, let's hear it.
Number 10. people who wear sunglasses at night.
Nice.
What do you think about that?
What's
indoors, wearing them indoors and at night. And I'm not talking transition lenses. When you see a guy come in and he's got, black Ray-Bans, and it's like...
Especially in a nightclub.
In a club.
In a club is the best. It's like, you're automatically considered a douche, for sure. So this was the top 10 douche list?
It was like douchebag fashion.
See, that's funny, because you automatically think of the word douche when you see that. And so
this is true.
It makes sense that it was on the list.
Okay.
That's 10? I don't think that would be 1.
Well, wait till we get to 1.
Oh, this is good.
Over tanning or heavy tans?
Oh,
like orange people.
Fucking spray tan. Oh, okay, so Jersey Shore. The first time I ever saw anything of Jersey Shore, they were doing like a reunion, and it was highlights of them spray tanning. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is what the show is about? Jesus Christ. And then later I got addicted to that stupidity.
Now you love it.
Yeah, fucking. But JWoww and Snooki sucks.
But tanning beds, like, they're just filthy, right?
You're supposed to spray that shit down, right?
Yeah, like my wife has a friend that
before I get in there.
At one, and spray shit, like whatever, it's soiled to fuck now. Like,
I know.
She was telling my wife about all the shit she finds, like people pissing in the trash bins, or
what? Why would you do that?
Because they couldn't hold it anymore. They're just like, fuck it, I'm naked. I'm going to piss here on the carpet. Right?
And then go back in the tent?
Yeah.
You're that retarded?
Or other guys like jerking off and leaving a load.
Oh, no, that's sick.
Yeah.
But aren't you...
Wipe it down, eh?
Wait a minute.
So, you guys still going to go tanning now?
So
do a stand-up there.
Speaking of tanning, I got a good story for you. So a buddy of mine, he's Indian, so dark-skinned, right? Yeah. I asked him once if when he tanned.
Yeah, even out.
If he tanned naked.
Sure.
And he said, wait a minute. Are you asking me if I tan naked?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, are you asking me if I tan, period? It's fucking dark. What does he need? Oh my God, I laughed so hard because it was the dumbest question I think I ever asked anybody in my life.
I've been in a similar situation.
Oh, fuck.
Come on, there are people like tanning too. Shit.
So if
they can't like the sun.
If you're stroking one out in the tanning bed, aren't you worried
you're
about...
sick fuck.
For one, yeah, that's obvious. But aren't you worried that the head of your penis is gonna get burned from that heat? I'd be fucking freaking out about that.
Fuck if I know. I don't know.
I wouldn't trust that shit. That's gross. Fuck me.
Just never mind. Just be someone who works in one of those.
Oh no.
Okay, number 8. Moving on.
Shit. It's gonna take us 3 hours.
Fucks. Yeah. Number 9 is clearly douchebag and sick. Number 8. Overdone jeans. Okay, rhinestone studded.
What about the straight fucking pen? The jeggings for men?
Like super tight, super skinny ones. Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't want to criticize because you know what?
You do it?
I probably if I had the legs and the ass, then I might wear them, but I can't.
You have to be a bone rack to wear that shit, man.
Yeah, like if I had that figure, maybe I would.
You couldn't even get those pants around my balls. Yeah, rhinestones on a man is awesome.
But what is it about jeans that just has to show off like who you are for how expensive?
Yeah,
right?
I have a couple pair that looking back, I'm like, fuck.
My legs, my waist, my ass, the way it is, like the working out, the football, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It just never put me in position to buy an expensive pair of jeans. So I just got to wear what fits, and thankfully they were the affordable.
You can get some good pairs of jeans that are fucking... your thighs are going to be a little tight, maybe.
Well, let's go.
Gotta get the stretchy ones.
I'm all about the comfort. I'm North American. I'm Canadian.
Lululemon for the win.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, number 7's jeans worn like below the ass.
Fuck.
Below the waist.
I don't get that. I swear to God, if I ever have a child and they try to pull that shit off, they're not allowed out of the house.
But like they tie the shit, like the belt is tied, is done up so tight to keep them on your legs.
That is so stupid. It's not even anything. Like you're walking around like you have a fucking diaper on your ass, for starters, and you gotta like walk with your legs wide just to hold the pants up.
Right.
I don't get it. And then you're like, your underwear is part of the fashion.
Well, that's one of those looks that caught on. I have no idea why.
Oh God! I think we can blame Justin Bieber for that. That's another thing. These guys that walk around looking like Justin Bieber, they feel like losers because they look like Justin Bieber.
Why spend $100,000 when you can get a $30 haircut?
And then there's that
popped collars.
Nice. I knew that was on the list somewhere.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, for sure. It had to be.
Yeah. Popped collars or a double pop collar. How about that?
There's a picture online somewhere of like douche of the year or something. The guy's got like 50 shirts on all popped collars.
Awesome. Okay. All right. How about too much jewelry or gaudy jewelry?
Yeah, do guys do that? I haven't seen a lot of guys that do that.
Well, like, really blinged out, iced out stuff, right? I mean, like, is there such thing as too much diamonds on a wrist or a watch?
If you're a man, yeah. Right? Diamonds are for women, I think.
Or what about like a piece, like a real like heavy piece, like a rapper will have like a Jesus piece or something like that.
Yeah,
right.
Kanye.
Or a clock or a set of rims or
good old Kanye West set of rims on your fucking necklace. It's awesome.
But yeah, what about too much jewelry?
I haven't seen that often, so I can't remember.
You even see the guys with the hairy chests with like 3 or 4 gold necklaces. Or
there was a guy in one of the jobs I used to work with who had a hairy chest that just pop out of their shirt. I mean, I'm no fucking... I'm a hairy motherfucker, but I try to cover my shit up. And this guy had his chest just like growing out.
So he accentuated.
And he used to complain about dress code of other people. And I used to say, well, the minute that fucking guy buttons up his shirt or wears an undershirt to cover his fucking hairy chest, then I'll start listening to his dress code.
Well, while we're on the topic, that number 4 is deep V-necks. Like deep, Jacques Cousteau deep.
There's also the low floating fucking collar too, eh? What is that thing called?
Low floating collar.
It's like it dips down, but it's not a V. It's just like a
scoop neck.
Scoop neck, that's it.
Yeah.
Scoop, fuck.
Well,
that's got to be up there too.
How about like, you might think this is weird as a guy, but like excessive cleavage.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like just
so
some
stupid.
scenarios are just like, holy fuck.
You're an automatic attention getting.
Yeah, it's just like, how is this even appropriate for where we are?
Yeah.
Like, how do you decide what's appropriate cleavage wise? Like, I don't get
I don't
that.
even know what men cleavage is supposed to even look like.
Automatic slut. There you go. Okay, number 3, greasy haircuts.
Oh, I used to be a victim of that. I used to have a fucking greasiest haircut ever.
Yeah, like what? Putting too much.
Well, I used to do what
product.
they called the undercut. Mm-hmm. So you had shave it underneath, and you kept growing your hair. And I grew my bangs to the length that it would be the length of the back if I brushed back.
I can't even imagine that haircut.
Fuck, I had a douche haircut for sure when I was in high school.
So greasy haircuts, like way too much product.
They're not a style.
Spiky hair, like kind of like.
They're not even in style. Those haircuts.
The guy we covered who had the kid from Jersey Shore.
Oh fuck! I don't even know what that is.
What's his name again?
Pauly D.
Yeah,
he made $15 million last year. He's good. He's good in my books.
Just make money in your clothing.
I don't care what he does anymore.
Tight clothing, number 2.
Yeah, that was my jeggings. Fucking comment. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't know how you even fucking piss. Like, how do you get your dick out
for
of
a guy or a girl? If you're super tiny like that, like
if you're
no one's gonna like you.
If you're a guy and you can fit into jeggings, you need to fucking eat and do squats or something. Like, I don't get it.
It's too feminine for a guy.
Well, I just don't, I don't know. I've got the old school vision of a man, I guess. I don't know.
I just don't know how you stay that like
bullshit.
that small, that thin, right? It's like you stopped eating when you were 5.
Yeah, like
until you're an adult.
I don't get that. It's genes, obviously, but there's a manly man who just bought yoga pants. So
it's like I get wanting to be healthy, but that's like paranoid that you're going to gain weight.
I don't understand how men fit into tight pants. I don't
either. But
it can't even be comfortable.
We don't have to understand it. We just know it's on the douchebag.
It's a douche thing.
Guess what number 1 is? Ed Hardy clothing.
No, it isn't.
It was.
That's amazing.
All right.
Fuck. I found a list the other day. We're gonna have to discuss it next. It's something like 50 hot chicks and the stuff they don't like that men wear.
Oh, really?
So it's a lot of those.
That's a long ass list.
It's a long list, so that's why I
might
never
just
really
have to pick the best ones.
Yeah. So, but the chicks were smoking hot, and it's funny because of the stuff they talked about. I'm like, I don't wear that. It's like scarves and a couple other things. I'm gonna have to summarize the list.
Well, you're changing, so anything could happen. You're already buying your first Lululemon.
Yeah,
so
I know. I'm gonna end up on that douche list.
We'll see you with a pashmina on.
I'm gonna end up on that douche list.
There you go. Okay, let's wrap this shit up. We threw it at you. We'll see what sticks. Here's a full of our shit. And what can I say? So podcast Nobody's podcast number 5.
We have 5
on the list, and number 1 in your ears. So
in your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul.
There you go. We're coming to corrupt all of it. Thanks for joining us live, podcast studios in Hannon. He's Nelson,
and he's Neil.
All right, love you. Ciao, everybody.
See ya. I have to save these punch videos for next time.